For now, what we want is just basic website that runs very well. So for that, first of all, we need to check our OS version just for our knowledge. You can do that by using cat command, and you have to go inside etc, and inside that you can check the OS release, and you can press enter here and you'll see I'm using Raspbian Stretch. Currently you can see Raspbian Buster is also online. That is the latest version. You can use that also. All the stuff will be same, no difference at all. Whatever I do here can be done there also. Just for the sake of updating, let us use again sudo apt-get update. You can use update as many times as you need. Let us install the necessary components other than our own main Unicorn and Django. Those can be done through virtualenv through Python. So apart from that, let's do the other installation. Let us write sudo apt-get install Python development and then library development, these two packages. Then we need PostgreSQL. So PostgreSQL, then we need the contrib files, PostgreSQL contrib files, and also we need to install Nginx. So these are the packages that we need to install. So you press enter and you have to say yes for installation, and depending on the speed of the internet, your installation will continue. Okay, so seems it's done. So now what we need to do is, like, we need to check whether PostgreSQL has been installed properly or not. We can do this by checking through the user that has been created for PostgreSQL. You can go through sudo postgres. Why don't I increase, we'll check. Okay, so Postgres is now logged in, so we know that it's installed properly. So we can check you can check PostgreSQL by accessing the database IPSQL. Okay, so we have got this Postgres command, this command prompt. So from here we can create, delete, update, do stuff with the database that we want to do. So for now, let's create a database. Let's say create database for project me24 semicolon. We'll have to end with semicolon. Okay, so we are now creating a database with the name project me24. So create database, you can see is kind of successful. Now we'll create one of the database user, and we will also grant access to that user later. So let's create user, say project me user with password. Okay, obviously I'll change this password just sake of my memory that I don't forget. Let me just create an empty file with, let's say, credentials, because I'll change this later, but till the time I change I need to know, like. So now you can create that user, project me user. So your role is created now. Now you need to grant all the privileges to that particular user in order for that user to actually do stuff. Privileges on that particular database, whose name is project me24, and give access to that particular user that we have created, which is project me user. So all privileges have also been given. So you can now get out of this SQL command by using /q for quit. So you're getting this. Now we need to get out of this user also, PostgreSQL, in order to perform other activities from PyUser. So I'm now back again in my PyUser. So till now what we have done, we have completed the installation of PostgreSQL. We have checked the installation for its correctness, and then we have created our database. We have created a user with permission on that database with all privileges. User can create stuff and do. So for the next set, we need to install our virtual environment from Python, and in that we need to install our web server and Django as well. We need to change the root password also. That matter. So you can write sudo pswd root, enter new unit password, re-enter, password change successfully. So we have changed the root password now. Okay, we'll use Python 3, not use Python 2.7, that's obsolete. Sudo pip 3 install virtual, and we have installed virtual environment for now. So what we can do now is to create our virtual environment project. mkdir slash project me24. So let that be a directory name. So we have project me24 now. So we can now get inside project me24. Right now we can create virtual environment here. Virtual env will say the Python version 3 and we'll give name to the environment project me24 environment. You can just say project me environment. So it'll take some time to create the virtual environment. We have completed creating the virtual environment. Now we can activate the thing. Project me environment /bin/activate. Okay, so now I am inside the project me environment right now. So now we can try installing a web server, Unicorn and Django, and the support file for PostgreSQL. So let's install that using pip. Inside of this virtual environment, you don't have to write pip3. You can directly write pip inside of this environment. So write Django, we need to install Unicorn web server, and then we need to install the support file for PostgreSQL. So these three things are what we need right now. So successfully installed Django, we have Unicorn and PostgreSQL support file, and some files, supporting files. So we have installed the web server and Django also. So we can use Django to create a new project now in this web server. So let us ask Django admin Python file.py start a new project with the name project me24. So let's start that. Okay, that there seems to be a problem. So I forgot that dot says to install it there only. We need to configure the settings for Django in order to connect it to Postgre database. So we'll need to configure the settings.py file, which is inside of the web project, which I can show you right now. This is the settings.py file which we need to edit. So let's edit it. Sudo nano, where am I by the way right now? Let me check once. Yeah, outside. So sudo nano, go inside my project and then go inside settings.py, which I need to edit. So this is the settings.py. Now I need to come down the path where database is mentioned. Databases, here I have default, so we have django.db.backends.sqlite3. so we do not want to use SQLite3, so I'll delete SQLite3 database and we will replace this with PostgreSQL. So in order to connect, we'll have to give this supporting connectivity file that we just installed. Why did you give such a dangerous name? So what we need to do is delete this, because it's SQLite3, it's stored in the file server, so the name needs to be joined with the path, but currently we don't need to do that. We can say the database name. What is the database? Project me24, right? So that's the database. Once we give that, we also need to give the username and stuff. So let me just copy this from here and paste it here so that I can amend it the right use. Sorry. User, wherein we need to write the username, which is what I forgot, hence I have this file. So here I can write the username, that is project me user. So after this, we need to go down. Authentication is all okay. Everything. Static URL. We'll change the static URL later so that Nginx uses properly serve static files. We'll have to provide a static root also. os.path.join. Take the base directory path from here and then to write static to close it. So we have mapped the PostgreSQL database and we have given the root, static root URL also. What we have to do now is, I think, just write out Control and O for write out. Yes, enter, and Control X for exit. Since we have changed this stuff, we need to write those changes in Django web project as well. So in order to create the first schema for the database, we need to be in this project folder, my project folder. You can say run migrations. So let's say, let me check if manage.py is there. Yes, it is there. So we can use that to make migrations. Call manage.py first and then say make migrations through manage.py. So once we do the make migrations, it will say fatal error y will. But now I can say .manage.py make migrations. That's where we left migrate. .py migrate. Okay, so all migrations done, everything is okay. And now I'll create a super user for this Django project. So manage.py, create a super user, username leave blank, use root, email, just give an email address, password. I have created this super user. In my settings.py, we had used the static directory, okay, where the static files are stored. So we need to point it correctly to static directory where static files are stored. So we need to write here like /manage.py collect static files. So for now, let us just start and check whether our project is running so that we can host it. Run server. Nice, it's running. Let me just run at 0000. So let me try at 00 so that I can use from my Windows machine also. 0.0.0.0 everywhere. /8000. Port is already in use. How? Okay, that port is already in use. Okay, not an issue. Let me use 8001 if you cry so much over that. Okay, starting. So let's check. Let's just check the local host. Colon 8001. Whoa, this install worked successfully. So congratulations, your Django server is up. So why don't I check this from my Windows machine also? Say what? The IP of my Raspberry Pi is 4:8001. Disallowed host. Okay, we need to add this to the allowed host so that we can browse through it. But still, that means it's running basically. Now what I need to do is I want to edit my settings.py file. So sudo just nano project 24/settings.py that I need to edit. So here I need to include the allowed host. Yeah, this is the allowed host. So here I need to allow certain hosts so that I can access from outside. Here I'll write project me24.com. Actually, this is a security thing. It's good that it is there because other websites won't be able to access the application. Only the request generating from projectme.com would be able to access the application. Obviously, the domain has not yet propagated, so let me just write it, and I'll add my local IP. Okay, you can access from 804. Okay, it's running. Now I should be able to access from here also. 8000. Sorry, 2004. Whoa, so from my LAN I'm able to access. Similarly, when Project Me 24 would be propagated, we have already set some names. When that will be propagated, it should give me this when it is propagated, but till now it's not propagated. So I won't get that now. So basically the web server is up. Now what we need to do is use Nginx with Unicorn.